Gear is kind of a controversial subject in filmmaking. Some people love talking about it, while others absolutely hate it. Over the years of being a filmmaker, I've come to realize there needs to be a middle ground. Completely obsessing over gear and fixating on how much better your project could be if you had the next piece of equipment can lead to discouragement and creating nothing at all. While on the other hand, it can help you create better films for your clients and yourself and achieve things you never thought possible before. Knowing what gear to buy and what items are right for you is essential to being a filmmaker. Here are a few things I've added to my kit and have never regretted. A good tripod is something every filmmaker should have. It's a big initial investment, but it goes a long ways. See a lot of filmmakers nowadays skipping straight to buying gimbals, which are also great tools, but a tripod is far more important in my opinion. It can offer many possibilities while shooting, but most importantly, it allows you to compose a shot without moving the camera. A good shot can be engaging without movement, and then we can think about moving the camera if it's going to add something to the shot. Another thing to consider is a tripod can stand on its own, while a gimbal usually requires an operator. This can be helpful in circumstances where you want to be more involved in the scene and have to wear many hats, or in instances where you want to be in front of the camera. Lighting is not often prioritized, but it is probably one of the most important. Having at least one solid light will bring your videos to the next level. It does not have to be anything crazy, but I prefer an LED model light, like this one, the Forza 300 from Namlight. I chose this style of light for a few different reasons. They're super powerful and can be used to light either an individual or help to light an entire scene. Can be used with AC power or a V-mount battery. The ability to use a light without having to worry about where the nearest outlet is gives you more creative freedom over where you want to place the light. They're relatively inexpensive when considering the output you get when compared to an HMI or a Kino Flow. They also have a very high CRI, which means when the light is reflected off of your subject, it will render color accurately. They're also easy to modify, so if you don't have a ton of space to set up a scrim or a silk, you can use soft boxes thanks to the bones mount on the front of these lights, which many other LEDs and strobes share. The last thing I want to mention about these lights is because they're LED, they stay cool and quiet. The fan is typically on while I'm recording, but it's pretty much inaudible. I believe these lights also contain a heatsink, which helps keep the element cool. I have let these lights run for hours at a time and have not had a single issue. The next item, which pairs nicely with the last, is a C-stand or a nice light stand, because they're extremely sturdy and you can be confident when putting an expensive light on it that it won't tip over. I also love the ability to boom a light out over your set. You just have to make sure the boom stays over the tallest leg. C-stands are more than just a fancy light stand. They really come in handy when you're working on a small team by holding fill cards or flags, even a microphone. Ever since I bought a C-stand, I've come to realize how necessary they are and how much easier they make pulling off more complex shots. On to our fourth item, which is the item that inspired this video, a field monitor. This is easily one of the best investments I have made, and I really appreciate it when I'm shooting a job. Having a monitor to look at makes me far more confident, being able to actually see what the shot looks like compositionally, making sure everything's in focus, and really being able to see the exposure. I have had this monitor for a few years, so I am in need of an upgrade, but this is the Atomos Shogun, which is both a monitor and an external recorder. But I want to focus on some of the monitoring aspects that I love. Focus magnifier is a tool that many cameras have internally, but being able to punch into a large, sharp screen really helps you ensure that the shot is sharp. 3D LUTs are a great tool for when you're shooting in log or any flat picture profile. They help you get a good idea of what the finished image will look like after color grading. This is super important when working on commercials. As great of a tool log is, it can make it really hard to judge exposure even with a histogram or waveform. I always hear this rule of thumb that you're supposed to overexpose log by 2 stops, which is really quite dependent on the scene you're recording. Focus peaking and zebras are again often found in a lot of cameras today, but these are great tools as well. A larger, higher resolution display will help you with every aspect of recording and allow you to judge the image before sitting down to edit it. My last investment is one I've had for a long time. My Pelican case is one of the most important purchases I have ever made. I went with the 1510 model so I could use it as a carry-on when I'm traveling, but I was forced to check it at the gate once, and I'm glad I packed it tightly, because I did watch the employees from Delta actually throw it on and off the plane, which was terrifying. But luckily, it did its job and kept my camera unharmed. So yes, one of the main reasons why it's on the list for me is keeping my gear safe. But I also think it's a great idea to have one because they're easy to work out of. You can customize them and set them up so the case becomes your home base when you're on set. You can strategically lay out all of your equipment, allowing the production to run much smoother. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has helped you to realize the potential of one of these items. Let me know what you feel has been your best investment as a filmmaker.